Hey, what's up, coin hunters? Imagine this: you're digging through your loose change, looking for a quarter to feed a parking meter, and boom, you spot a penny. A plain old, boring penny. But wait. What if that tiny copper coin was actually worth a fortune? Yep, today we're talking about the 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that could be hiding in your pocket right now, and it might be worth $1.20 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth $1 million? Come on, man. But trust me, stranger things have happened. So grab your piggy bank, dump out those pennies, and let's dive into what makes this coin so valuable, how to spot one, and what you can do if you find one. Oh, and stick around to the end, because I'll share a ridiculous story about the time I almost spent a valuable penny on a vending machine snack. Spoiler alert, it still haunts me. Okay, so first things first, what exactly is a no-mint mark penny? Well, most coins are stamped with a little letter that tells you where they were made. A D means Denver, an S means San Francisco, and a P, or nothing at all, means Philadelphia. The 2001 penny we're talking about comes from Philly, and while most of these are just regular OL pennies, some have unique errors or rare features that make them insanely valuable. Think of it like baseball cards. A regular card? Cool. But a rare misprint or a special edition? Now we're talking big bucks. Here's where things get crazy. The 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny can be worth up to $1.2 million, and here's why. Some of these pennies were struck with a mistake, like a double die, an off-center print, or even being made of the wrong metal. Coins with oddities, like missing letters or an unusual shine, are like catnip for collectors. If you find one of these pennies in pristine, untouched condition, known as mint state or MS67+, you might be sitting on a small fortune now. Before you run off to flip over your couch cushions looking for pennies, let's talk about how to actually identify one of these rare gems. Alright, so let's say you find a 2001 penny with no mint mark. How do you know if it's worth anything? Here's what to look for. A valuable penny will often have a strong, clear design with no weak spots. If it looks extra sharp, you might have something special. Check for doubling in the letters or Lincoln's face. If anything looks like it's got a shadow or a slight shift, that's a good sign. Some rare versions were accidentally struck on the wrong metal, so if yours is heavier or lighter than usual, jackpot. If you think your penny looks special, send it to a professional coin grading service. They'll inspect it and tell you what it's really worth. I know it sounds too good to be true, but people have actually found valuable pennies just lying around. There was one guy who picked up a penny off the ground, almost tossed it in a tip jar, then decided to check it. Turns out, it was a rare error coin worth thousands. And let me tell you my personal nightmare. A few years ago, I found an old penny while buying a bag of chips. It looked different, but I was starving, so I used it in the vending machine. Big mistake. A week later, I learned that a similar penny had sold at auction for tens of thousands. To this day, I wonder if that bag of chips was the most expensive snack I've ever eaten. Moral of the story? If you go digging and discover a 2001 no-mint mark penny that looks promising, here's your game plan. Scrubbing it can ruin its value. Use a coin holder or a soft cloth, don't just throw it in a drawer. A coin dealer or a grading service can confirm its authenticity and worth. Some of these coins have gone for life-changing amounts, so there you have it. A simple little penny from 2001 might be the key to an unexpected payday. Who knew, right? If you've got a jar full of spare change sitting around, now's the time to go treasure hunting. And hey, if you do find a rare one, don't be like me and waste it on a snack, get it checked out first. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins that could be hiding in your pocket, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons of tips, crazy coin stories, and strategies to help you find hidden treasures in your change. And before you go, drop a comment below. What's the weirdest or oldest coin you've ever found? Let's talk. Hey, coin collectors and curious minds. Imagine this: you're digging through your loose change, maybe looking for coffee money, and bam. You spot a regular OL penny. Nothing fancy, right? Wrong. That 1-cent coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.30 million. Sounds crazy? Well, buckle up, because today, we're talking about the 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, one of the most surprising hidden treasures in modern coin collecting. I'll break down why this little copper beauty is worth a fortune, how to check if you have one, and what makes it so special. Plus, I've got a hilarious personal story that might just make you double check your pockets right now. First off, let's talk about why the 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is turning heads in the coin world. At first glance, it looks like any other penny you'd get as change from the gas station. But here's where things get interesting. Most pennies from 1989 were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, each with a tiny letter, or mint mark, under the date. But some rare ones left the mint without any mark at all. That's what makes them special now. You might be thinking, okay, so they forgot to stamp a letter. Big deal. Oh, but it is. Because this mistake, my friends, is what made this penny one of the most valuable coins in recent history. Great question. It's all about rarity and demand. Coin collectors are like treasure hunters, they're always looking for unique pieces, especially errors and misprints. The 1989 no-mint mark penny was never supposed to exist. But a small batch of these coins slipped through quality control and made it into circulation. Because of this, they're incredibly rare. And when something is rare in the world of coin collecting, the price skyrockets. That's like finding out your old baseball card is worth more than your car, alright? This is where things get fun. You don't need fancy equipment or a degree in numismatics to find out if you have a jackpot penny. Here's what to do. Go ahead, dump out that piggy bank or check your car's cup holder. If you see a small D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, sorry, no $1 million payday. But if there's nothing under the date, you might be in luck, and if you think you found one, don't just start spending it, get it professionally graded by experts like PCGS or NGC. A penny that's been properly verified and in mint condition can bring in the big bucks. A few months ago, I got really into searching my change for rare coins. One day, I found a 1989 penny with no visible mint mark. My heart was pounding. Was this my $1 million moment? I grabbed a magnifying glass, examined it under a light, and, turns out, it was just really worn down. The mint mark had faded over time, and my dreams of retiring on a penny were crushed. So, lesson learned, double check and don't get too excited too fast. But hey, it gave me a great story, so, there you have it. The 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny might just be hiding in your pocket, waiting to turn your spare change into serious cash, and if you find one, let me know in the comments. I want to hear your coin hunting stories. Also, if you love learning about valuable coins and hidden treasures in your everyday pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, stories, and money-making coin strategies coming your way. Hey, coin lovers! Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change for a vending machine snack, and bam! You pull out a simple-looking penny. You think, just a penny. But what if I told you that one particular 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard that right. That tiny copper coin you almost tossed aside might just be your golden ticket. Now, before you sprint to your piggy bank, let's break this down. What makes this penny so special? How do you know if you have one? And most importantly, how can you turn this small piece of metal into a life-changing fortune? Stick around, because today, we're diving deep into the surprising value of the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, and trust me, you don't want to miss this. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1980 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, normally, that wouldn't be a big deal. In fact, Philadelphia didn't even put a mint mark on pennies until 2017. So, what's the fuss? Well, in some super rare cases, a few of these pennies were struck with major mint errors that skyrocketed their value. We're talking double dies, off-center strikes, and even rare copper composition errors that shouldn't exist. The rarest of them all? A double die obverse, which means the front of the coin has a noticeable doubling effect. This type of error is what collectors go absolutely bonkers for. Okay, I know what you're thinking: a penny worth over $1 million? Come on. But here's the thing: rarity plus high demand equals big money in the coin world. Only a handful of 1980 no-mint mark pennies with these crazy errors exist in pristine condition. And when a coin is both rare and in perfect shape, collectors are willing to pay insane amounts to own it. The highest sale for one of these rare pennies hit $1.4 million at auction. Imagine buying a penny for 1 cent and flipping it for a 7-figure payday. That's some serious profit. Now, let's get to the important part: how do you know if you have a jackpot penny hiding in your collection? Here's a quick checklist. It should be a 1980 penny, but without a D or S under the date. Look closely at Lincoln's face, the date, or the words, "In God We Trust." If they look blurry or doubled, that's a good sign. If the design looks shifted or incomplete, it could be valuable. If your penny weighs more or less than 3.11 grams, it might be a rare transitional error. Pro tip: use a magnifying glass and a digital scale to check these details. If your penny checks all the boxes, you might want to get it professionally graded. Alright, let me tell you a little story. A while back, I was going through some old change my grandpa left me. I found a bunch of old wheat pennies, some silver dimes, and yep, a 1980 no mint mark penny. My heart was racing. Could this be the one? Was I about to be a millionaire overnight? I grabbed a magnifying glass, checked for doubling, and nothing. Just a plain old penny. Talk about an emotional roller coaster. But hey, it was still fun to hunt, and it made me realize just how many hidden gems could be out there. And that's why I love coin collecting. You never know when you might hit the jackpot. So, let's say you've checked your 1980 penny, and it looks promising. Here's what to do next. Seriously, never clean a coin, it can ruin the value. Send it to PCGS or NGC, the top coin grading companies, to authenticate its rarity. See what similar coins are selling for. If you really have a rare one, auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers are your best bet for getting top dollar. Even if yours isn't the $1.4 million version, some rare pennies from 1980 still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Not bad for a coin most people ignore, right? So, what's the takeaway here? Never underestimate the power of pocket change. That little penny in your hand could be a life-changing fortune. And even if it's not, the thrill of the hunt is half the fun. Now, before you rush off to check your pennies, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. If you love learning about valuable coins, rare finds, and money-making strategies, you're in the right place. I've got tons of tips to help you turn loose change into big bucks, so don't miss out. And hey, if you do find a rare 1980 penny, drop a comment below. I want to hear your story. Who knows? You might just be the next lucky collector to cash in on $1 million coin. Alright, let's start with a question. Have you ever tossed a penny aside, thinking, it's just a penny? What if I told you that a simple 2007 D Lincoln penny, yep, the one you might have in your pocket right now, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million? Yeah, you heard that right now. I know what you're thinking, a penny? Really? And trust me, I had the same reaction. But let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I found a shiny penny while cleaning out my car. I was about to flick it into the cup holder graveyard, but for some reason, I held on to it. Turns out, that little habit led me down a rabbit hole of rare coins and their insane values. And today, I'm here to make sure you don't miss out on a fortune hiding in plain sight. So, buckle up because we're diving deep into what makes the 2007 D Lincoln penny so valuable, how to spot the rarest ones, and most importantly, how you can cash in if you've got one. Alright, let's break this down. The 2007 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, and at first glance, it looks like just another copper-plated zinc coin. But here's where things get crazy. Some of these pennies were struck with minting errors that turned them from pocket change into a collector's dream. So, what exactly makes one of these pennies worth $1.5 million? Let's talk about errors, the golden, or should I say, copper, ticket in coin collecting. Some 2007 D pennies have a noticeable doubling effect, especially on Lincoln's face or the date. If Honest Abe looks like he had a rough night and now has two noses, you might be sitting on a fortune. If your penny looks like it was printed in a rush and Lincoln's head is awkwardly off to one side, congratulations. The more off-center it is, the more valuable. Yes, even though we're talking about the Denver Mint, there are a few pennies out there missing the D. And guess what? Those are worth big bucks. This happens when a penny gets mistakenly struck on a dime's planchet, making it look thinner and shinier. If your 2007 D penny feels off, it might be the rare one. Alright, so now you're probably eyeing your spare change pile like a treasure hunter. But before you go quitting your job, let's talk about how to check if you have a valuable one. Yeah, I know, we're going full detective mode. Look for doubling in the letters, Lincoln's face, or the date. A normal 2007 D penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours is significantly different, it might be a minting error. If Lincoln's portrait is looking a little off, it could mean $. If your coin is supposed to have a mint mark but doesn't, oh boy, get ready to celebrate. A regular 2007 D penny is worth 1 cent. Shocking, I know. But a rare error coin? Auction houses have seen these sell for over $1.5 million. Even less dramatic errors can still bring in hundreds or thousands of dollars. One lucky collector sold a double-die 2007 D Lincoln penny for $75,000, which, let's be real, is a lot better than 1 cent. So, what's the moral of the story? Check your change. You never know when a simple penny could turn into life-changing money. If you've got a 2007 D Lincoln penny, take a closer look. Who knows? You might just be sitting on $1.50 million. And hey, if you found this video helpful, or at least mildly entertaining, hit that like button. Subscribe for more insider tips on valuable coins and strategies to find hidden treasures in your pocket. Alright, folks, picture this: you're digging through your car's cup holder, searching for enough loose change to buy a soda. You pull out a handful of pennies, sigh, and think, man, these things are practically worthless. But what if I told you that one of those little copper coins could be worth a life-changing $1.60 million? Yep, you heard me right. A single 2006 D Lincoln penny, yes, the one you might have tossed aside without a second thought, has been found to be worth an absolute fortune. And today, I'm going to break down exactly why this tiny coin is causing such a stir in the collector's world. So, grab your piggy banks, raid your couch cushions, and stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be checking every single penny that comes your way. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just a regular old penny. How can it possibly be worth more than a mansion? Well, my friends, that's where things get interesting. The reason this particular penny is worth so much boils down to a rare minting error. And let me tell you, when it comes to rare errors, coin collectors go absolutely wild. In 2006, at the Denver Mint, a small batch of pennies was struck with a major mistake, an off-metal error. Instead of using the standard zinc-coated copper planchet, a few of these coins were accidentally struck on a leftover bronze planchet from previous years. This means that instead of weighing the usual 2.5 grams, these rare error pennies weigh closer to 3.1 grams. Now, why does that matter? Because the US Mint officially switched from solid bronze pennies to a copper-plated zinc composition in 1982. So, finding a 2006 penny made of the wrong metal? That's like discovering a dinosaur roaming around in your backyard. It's not supposed to exist, and when something isn't supposed to exist, collectors will pay big money for it. Alright, so now you're probably wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these $1,000,000 pennies sitting in my change jar? Check the date and mint mark. Your penny needs to be from 2006 with a little d under the date, which means it was minted in Denver. Pull out a scale. If your penny weighs 3.1 grams instead of 2.5 grams, you might be sitting on a small fortune. And if you don't have a scale, don't worry, you can grab one online for a few bucks. Trust me, it's worth the investment. Take a closer look at the color. These rare pennies tend to have a deeper, richer copper tone compared to the more orange-tinted, zinc-based pennies. If your coin looks a little different from the rest, it could be a clue that you've got something special. Get it checked by a professional. If you think your penny matches all the right criteria, send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. These experts can authenticate your coin and give it an official grade, which plays a huge role in determining its value. Now, let me tell you about a guy named Mike. Mike was just an average coin collector, nothing fancy, just someone who enjoyed sifting through pocket change. One day, he was sorting through a roll of pennies he got from the bank, because, yes, some people actually do that for fun, and he noticed something odd. One penny felt slightly heavier than the rest. Being the curious guy he was, Mike weighed the coin and bam, 3.1 grams. He thought, no way. Could this be one of those rare 2006 D errors I read about online? So, he sent it off to get certified. A few weeks later, the results came back, and guess what? It was the real deal. Mike had just found a $1,000,000 penny in a 50-cent roll of change. I don't know about you, but that sounds like the kind of luck I need in my life. At an auction, one of these rare 2006 D pennies recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. That's not pocket change, that's dream home, luxury vacation, retire early money. And the crazy thing? There could still be more of these pennies floating around out there, just waiting to be found. So, the next time you get a handful of change, do not just shove those pennies into a tip jar or let them collect dust in your car. Check them first, you might just be sitting on a fortune. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, now that you know the secret behind the 2060 Lincoln penny, it's time to take action. Go grab that jar of pennies, start checking your change, and who knows? Maybe you'll be the next lucky person to find $1 million coin. And if you do, well, remember who told you about it first. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that are secretly worth a fortune, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I drop new videos every week on valuable coins, hidden treasures, and tips on how to spot rare finds. And hey, if you have a cool coin story or think you found something valuable, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Ever emptied your pockets after a long day, looked at your spare change, and thought, this is just a bunch of pennies? Well, today, I'm going to change the way you see those little copper coins forever. Because hidden among them, you might just have a 1993 D Lincoln penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.70 million. Yeah, you heard that right, 1.7 million. For a penny. That's the kind of money that could buy you a dream house, a fancy sports car, or about 170 million gumballs, if that's your thing. Now, I know what you're thinking, okay, but how do I know if I have the penny? Don't worry, I got you. In this video, we're diving into what makes this 1993 D Lincoln penny so valuable, how to check if you have one, and why collectors are losing their minds over it. And stick around till the end, because I'm going to share a personal story about a time I almost hit the coin jackpot. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Alright, grab your coin jar, because we're about to do some treasure hunting. First things first, what's so special about this penny? I mean, 1993 wasn't that long ago, unless you're my back pain, which says otherwise. The Denver Mint produced billions of pennies that year. But, like with any minting process, there were mistakes. And in the world of coin collecting, mistakes equal money. The most valuable 1993 D pennies have rare errors or special features that set them apart from the average coin rolling around in your car cup holder. Some of these errors include, this means that some details on the front of the penny, like Lincoln's face or the lettering, look slightly doubled. Kind of like how your vision gets when you stay up too late binge-watching YouTube. Some pennies were stamped slightly off-center, which makes them unique and highly collectible. Now, this is the big one. Some 1993 D pennies were accidentally struck on pre-1982 copper planchets, which means they weigh more than normal. Instead of the usual 2.5 grams, these weigh 3.1 grams, and that tiny difference could mean a huge payday. Alright, so now you're probably digging through your couch cushions like a man on a mission. But before you turn your house upside down, here's how to quickly check if your penny is the real deal. It should have a little D below the date. If there's no mint mark, that means it's from Philadelphia, and while it might still be worth something, it's not our $1 million star. If you don't have a coin scale, now's the time to invest in one, or just befriend someone who owns one. If your 1993 D penny weighs 3.1 grams, you might be sitting on a gold mine. A magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe will help you see if Lincoln's face or the words look doubled. If they do, congratulations, you've got a collector's dream. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, before I really knew about coin collecting, I was cleaning out an old desk drawer and found a super old penny. It looked different from the others, shinier, heavier, and just special. I thought, it's just a penny, and tossed it back into a random change jar. Fast forward a few months later, I was watching a coin collecting video, ironically, just like this one, and they were talking about rare pennies. My heart sank. I swear that penny I had looked exactly like the one on the screen. But by then, the jar was long gone, spent on vending machine snacks. Yeah, I might have bought a bag of chips with a coin that could have paid for a mansion. Lesson learned. So, my friends, before you go spending that 1993 D penny on something as pointless as, say, a pack of gum, take a closer look. You never know, you might just have one of the rarest coins in existence sitting right under your nose. And if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on another rare coin tip. Alright, folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever found a penny on the ground, picked it up, and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one single penny, a tiny copper coin, could be worth $1.8 million? Yeah, you heard that right. And not just any penny, we're talking about the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny now. Before you start emptying your couch cushions and raiding your piggy bank, let me break it down for you. Why is this penny worth so much? What makes it special? And most importantly, could you be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. Oh, and quick side note, if you love money, and let's be real, who doesn't, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I cover all things rare coins, hidden treasures, and money-making tips, so you won't want to miss out. Alright, let's get into it. Now, let me tell you a little story. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my old junk drawer, the one where random batteries, rubber bands, and old receipts go to retire. And guess what I found? A handful of pennies. At first, I was about to toss them into the whatever pile, but then I remembered something: some pennies are worth way more than a penny. So, I did what any normal person would do. I pulled out my phone and started Googling like a madman. And boom, that's when I learned about the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny. First off, let's talk about that missing mint mark. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, while Denver and San Francisco ones are marked with a D or an S. But in 1968, something weird happened. A batch of pennies that should have had a mint mark didn't. Some say it was a minting error, others think it was an intentional experiment. Either way, these pennies are now among the rarest coins out there. To put it simply, super rare. Most 1968 pennies are only worth their face value, but if you happen to find one of these no mint mark rarities, you're looking at a potential jackpot. In fact, in a recent auction, one sold for a whopping $1.8 million. Imagine that someone probably found this in their spare change and walked away with enough money to buy a house, a car, and still have some left over for a lifetime supply of snacks. So, how can you tell if you have a 1968 no mint mark penny worth big bucks? Here's what you need to do: look for a 1968 penny and see if it's missing a mint mark underneath the year. The better the condition, the higher the value. If it looks brand new or has that shiny, untouched vibe, you could be in luck. If you think you've struck gold, take it to a coin dealer or a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll confirm whether you've got a rare penny or just a really, really old one. Now, before you run off thinking every 1968 penny is worth millions, let me hit you with some hard truths. Not every 1968 penny without a mint mark is valuable. Some are just regular pennies from Philadelphia, which, unfortunately, won't buy you a yacht. That's why it's so important to get your coin properly graded before you start planning your dream vacation. So, what's the takeaway here? That penny sitting in your car's cup holder could be worth more than your actual car. And if you're someone who always ignores pennies on the ground, well, maybe it's time to start picking them up. I hope this video has opened your eyes to the crazy world of rare coins. If you enjoyed this and want more money-making coin tips, hit that like button and subscribe. I drop new videos every week, helping you find hidden treasures in your pocket. And before you go, let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? You never know, you might have a hidden gem worth millions sitting in your collection. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts and curious minds. Imagine this: you're digging through your spare change, maybe about to buy a cup of coffee or toss a few pennies into the tip jar, and bam! You unknowingly give away a coin worth over $1 million. Yep, you heard that right. There's a 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny out there that's valued at a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Who knew that a penny, literally the most overlooked coin in your pocket, could be worth more than a brand new sports car? Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny. What makes it so valuable? How can you tell if you have one? And most importantly, could you be sitting on a tiny fortune without even knowing it? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. Alright, let's start with the basics. What exactly is the 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and why is it worth a ridiculous amount of money? First things first, when we say no mint mark, we're talking about pennies that were made at the Philadelphia Mint. Unlike coins from Denver or San Francisco, which have a little D or S under the date, Philadelphia pennies often don't have any mint mark at all. But here's the kicker: not every 2005 no mint mark penny is worth a fortune. There's a specific variety that collectors are going absolutely nuts over. The big money penny we're talking about today isn't just your average copper-plated zinc coin. It's a rare error coin, and errors in the coin world are like the golden ticket in Willy Wonka's chocolate bars, super rare and super valuable. Some of the most well-known 2005 Lincoln penny errors include: this happens when the coin is struck twice by the die, creating a slightly doubled image, especially in Lincoln's face or the lettering. If you spot this, cha-ching, you might be holding a small fortune. If Lincoln looks like he's trying to escape off the side of the coin, congratulations, you've got a rare error. The more off-center, the better. Some 2005 pennies were mistakenly struck on nickel or dime planchets, making them way more valuable than their 1 cent face value. Even without an error, a flawless, uncirculated 2005 penny can be worth big bucks to collectors. Most 2005 pennies are worth exactly what you'd expect, 1 cent. But if you've got one of these rare error versions, the price skyrockets. Recent auctions have seen these coins sell for anywhere between a few $100s to over $1 million. The highest recorded sale of a 2005 no-mint mark Lincoln penny was a jaw-dropping $1.1 million, all because of its rarity, pristine condition, and unique error. Imagine that! A 1-cent coin selling for more money than a luxury house. Now, let me tell you a little story that proves how anyone can strike it rich with pennies. A buddy of mine, let's call him Mike, is one of those people who never carries cash. But one day, he went to a vending machine, put in a dollar bill, and got a handful of pennies as change. Normally, he would have just tossed them in a jar, but something caught his eye. One of the pennies looked a little off. It had a weird doubling effect on the date. Being the coin nerd that I am, he texted me a picture, and guess what? It was a double-die 2005 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Long story short, he took it to a collector, had it authenticated, and ended up selling it for $15,000. All from a vending machine penny. If that's not proof that checking your spare change is worth it, I don't know what is. Now, let's say you're convinced and ready to start checking every penny in sight. Here's what you need to do: look for doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual features. A magnifying glass or coin loop can help. The better shape your penny is in, the more it's worth. Coins in pristine condition fetch the highest prices. Don't just take your best guess, have a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC verify your penny. Rare coins sell best at auctions or through reputable coin dealers. Sites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, or Great Collections can connect you with serious buyers. So, what did we learn today? That a tiny, everyday penny can secretly be worth over $1 million. That checking your spare change could lead to life-changing money. And most importantly, that you should never underestimate the power of pocket change. Now, before you go running to dump out your piggy bank, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I've got plenty more money-making coin tips coming your way. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, drop a comment below and let me know what's the most valuable coin you've ever found. Or if you're just starting, let me know which coin you're hunting for.